Welcome to today's video. This is how it's going to work. I'm going to introduce, demonstrate, educate in that order. Here we have Turtle Wax Scratch Repair and Renew. It's our latest offering in what I would call an all-purpose scratch remover. I think every car owner should have one of these types of products around. There's many choices. This happens to simply be one of them. Let's demonstrate. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to take something directly off their labeling, which says, wait for it, remove light to heavy scratches up to 1000 grit. Most people that would be using this product, since it is a retail product, would already be confused by the 1000 grit. But nonetheless, look what I have. Some 1000 grit sanding paper. Now, if I was to do a process called wet sanding or color sanding on this car, I would be using water with it. But for demonstration purposes only, I'm going to use it dry. The surface is clean. It's on the deck lid of my white car. What I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce, which is a very diplomatic way of saying I'm going to scratch my car deliberately with sandpaper rated at 1000 grits per square inch is, I believe, how they rate that. I have no idea what the camera's going to capture. So I'm going to scratch it for a test spot. In order to test this product, I'm going to circle around with the camera and try to capture it in full high definition for your viewing pleasure. I'm using very light pressure. I scratched, obviously, in one direction. Right there we have two distinct areas where I was kind of holding my fingers. See those scratches? This is what I want to test against. I'm going to tape it off and do a little comparison here. Now that I've introduced these deliberate scratches, what I'm going to do is take some tape right from my toolbox and I'm going to section the scratches off. I'm literally going to bisect it so we have two sides that I can compare with. I've got my Scratch Repair and Renew from Turtle Wax. As per their directions, I can use this by hand, I can use it by machine. Since this is a retail product, most of you will default automatically to using it by hand. Instructions say use a little dollop. They actually have a video on Amazon that you can watch this, and it will say rub the area. Now, just so you know, I'm using two fingers. Many of you keyboard jockeys will have something to say about that. By all means, bring on the comments. Now, because I have experience, I'm going in very aggressively. Why am I doing that? Because I felt the product and it did not feel overly abrasive. Now, the simple answer is, how do you remove scratches? How do you remove swirl marks? Well, you do it by scratching your way to success. You remove deeper scratches by introducing finer scratches, and finer and finer and finer, till the point where the eye cannot see any more scratches. Because I could feel this, it did not feel overly abrasive, I was skeptical, thinking that this retail product could in fact remove 1000 grit sanding marks by hand. This is the reason I'm going in at a disturbing amount of pressure that any beginner would never do to their car. That I can almost guarantee. But what I'm trying to do is really tease out as much results as possible with this product. I have a little excess there. Now I'm going to flip the cloth over, buff it off, see what kind of results I have. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to take this cool little swirl finder by Adams and I'm going to hover over the scratches in hopes that it will reveal what is and what is not. I can tell that it did in fact diminish the scratches over here. Did it remove them completely? Definitely not. I'm also going to take my camera off, and you see the scratches on the left, they're still there. On the right, they have in fact been diminished. Now, just for an additional good time, I'm going to come in with a second application. There's my dollop, and I'm going to use a one-finger method for a more directed, concentrated effort on these scratches. I'm really putting some elbow grease into this because I want to see if I can completely remove these scratches. Let's come in, take a look. Okay, you can see that the scratches still remain right against the edge of the tape. The reason for that is because this creates literally an edge, which means that my polish and cloth cannot come in direct contact right against the edge. But as you can see, it is in fact restoring the shine. It is removing some scratches because this is what we had before. This is what we have now. Is it perfect? No, it is not. But because I retain what I call realistic expectations for a retail product like this, I don't have unrealistic expectations. I recommend a product like this. There's many products on the market. There's Scratch Doctor, Scratch X, many types of products. One of the reasons they're so useful around the garage as a car owner, a hobbyist, even a professional detailer like me is simply because of the packaging. Also because I understand the natural limitations of this product, I don't have unrealistic expectations. Therefore, when I use it, I know what it will be effective at and what it will be ineffective at. Therefore, I won't be disappointed. But because of the packaging, it's so easy to whip in and out of my van while I'm on the job, I love having one of these products around. For example, door handles. Because people are reaching to open their door, fingernails, you have a car, typically there's going to be some layer of dirt on it regardless if you just had it washed or not. So what happens is you reach to open the door, naturally your fingernails will rub the paint as you grab for the door handle. What it's going to do is going to force in or transfer in the dirt that's on the surface into the paint as you kind of abrade and scratch the painted area around the door handle. A product like this is perfect for dealing with those types of scratches. A little dollop, you go in here and you can go in pretty hot, and what it will do, will literally clean the paint. It will clean the dirt out of those scratches. So even if it's not removing the scratches 100%, it is now going to dramatically improve the appearance of that section. Now, if you want to scrutinize it to a higher degree, of course there might be scratches still there. But who's going to do that? Who's going to get down this close and say, no, Darren, I can still see some scratches there? It just ain't going to happen. So, in a realistic application, it is ideal. Another great area is what's called the threshold plate inside the doors. This is generally what happens. People get in, as they pull their feet in and out of the car, the front of their toe will hit the door panel here and leave skid marks. The heel of your foot, it's going to grab here and it's going to typically leave skid marks on the threshold plate. On a light colored car, it's typically going to show as either scratches or black skid marks. This product is ideal for dealing with that. Don't underestimate the power of details. And what I mean by that is little details like that that you can fix and remove very easily with a product like this will enhance the overall appearance of your car. You will not necessarily know unless you did it yourself. Let's say you're a bystander and you're looking at a car and you come up and you say, wow, that car looks so clean. It looks so new. It looks so great. Well, it's all those endless little details that you have taken care of that combine to either create something that is wanted or something that is unwanted. What I mean by that is this. When you let things go like that and they start to accumulate, scratches around the door handles, little scuffs on the side of the door as people get in and out, because this is another common area. Well, people will rub their butts, their legs, their arms, their packages, their keys. They'll leave little skid marks right around here. Between there, the door handle, the threshold plates, that starts to accumulate and it just degrades the overall appearance of your car. So, if you deal with it as they arise or occur, guess what? It will enhance the overall appearance of your car, which is why I consider a product like this, whether you choose this product or not is up to you, but I consider a product like this a absolutely necessity when it comes to your arsenal of car care products. And by the way, Turtle Wax reached out. Well, to be more specific, a company that does marketing for Turtle Wax that they hired reached out to me and wanted to know if I wanted to get a sample of some of their products. I said yes. I love Turtle Wax products, said no professional detailer ever. Ever. But with that said, is would I use this professionally? And the simple answer is yes, absolutely. They're not paying me to advertise for them. Did I get this for free? Yes, I did. But guess what? Who have I been advertising for years? The biggest company is probably Meguiar's. Have I ever received a single check, royalty payment of any kind? In fact, I've never even received a free product from Meguiar's, and yet I guarantee me alone represent thousands of dollars of advertising revenue for them. So for all you keyboard jockeys that say, oh, there goes Darren, he's pushing a product, he's trying to sell a product, it's like, okay, what about all those 1,000 other moments where I'm talking about a product and I'm recommending it? So here I am, Turtle Wax, thumbs up, but once again, realistic expectations. In my world, that's one of the biggest problems in life in general. So let me segue into what I call life skills. It's called having realistic expectations. Let me illustrate for you what I mean. Here you have a company, Turtle Wax. They want to sell you a product in the name of car care. Over here we have Johnny Consumer, Johnny Car Owner. There often is a massive, at biblical proportions, disconnect. We have this massive audience that includes this massive spectrum of knowledge, experience, and ignorance. We have a company over here that wants to somehow get this product into your hands in exchange for some money. This is basic economics. Businesses exist to make money. Let's not forget that, folks. They're in business to make money. So how can they figure out ways in which to separate you from more of your money? Well, they come up with new products, new terminology, new labeling, new colors. It's called marketing. It's called advertising. And guess what? It works. It's never the best person, the best product, the best service that will win at the end of the day. You know who wins? It's the person, product, or service that knows how to market and advertise the best. That's what it comes down to. So with that said, let's dissect this a little bit. Right on the front of the label, and this is where I'm going to, and I'm not trying to disparage Turtle Wax, Virtually every company is guilty of this because everyone's trying to race to the finish line, which is get a bigger market share or a bigger share of the market. Turtle Wax is no exception. They make some really good products, but with that said is they are guilty of virtually what everyone else is doing. Coming up with new terms that are ambiguous, they sound sophisticated, they sound really, really cool, and it helps to separate you from your money by getting you to buy yet another new product. Scratches. Not all scratches are created equal. Not all paint is created equal. Some clear coats are softer, some are harder. What does that mean to you? It means that this product will largely, as far as the results you're going to get, be determined based on the type of scratches you're trying to remove, the type of paint you're working on. Is it a deep scratch, a thin scratch, a wide scratch, an old scratch, a new scratch? Is the clear coat soft, hard, medium? There's all these factors. Paint transfer. Not all paint transfer is created equal. What type of paint transfer has been transferred to your car paint that you want removed? Enamel paint, latex paint, oil-based paint. What kind of paint is it? Swirl marks. There's a big ambiguity. Swirl marks. I guarantee you, never mind if you lined up 1,000 commoners, people that are non-professionals, but I guarantee if you lined up 100 professional detailers, that if you asked them, what is a swirl mark? That you would likely get almost 100 different responses to that. So in this industry that there really is no standardization, how on earth are you going to come to the meeting of the minds when people cannot even clarify the definition of a term in which they're discussing? Swirl marks. What exactly is a swirl mark? Never mind the fact that not all swirl marks are created equal. So once again, it's important, regardless of the product that you have chosen for you and your world, you need to have realistic expectations. This is a retail product. What that means is because Turtle Wax recognizes that the retail audience is massive, meaning everyone comes in at different skill sets, knowledge, ignorance. How do they deal with that? Well, the simple answer is, because every company has to cover their ass, is they have to dumb it down so that it's safe enough, but yet they still have to engineer it so it will still be effective enough so that you would be willing to buy it and continue to use it and buy more of it. So that's a fine balance act between being safe and being effective, knowing that you're dealing with a broad spectrum of knowledge and ignorance. Talk about a tough juggle act. Also, in the name of educating, this says you can use it by hand or machine. The way this is labeled, it actually suggests that you can do your entire car and restore it, remove all the scratches. It really does make some pretty bold statements in the fact that it says removing 1,000 grit sanding marks. Most car owners, if you said that, hey, by the way, I'm going to sand your car, literally I'm going to take some sandpaper and I'm going to sand your car in order to remove blemishes. People, it would literally overload their brain. It'd be like, why would you ever take sandpaper to car paint? That does not compute. Well, that's because they don't have that experience. So right there is like, wow, that's a pretty bold statement on a retail product, which is a video for another time. Overall, I'm going to give this a thumbs up. Why? Because I'm applying experience, realistic expectations. I'm not paid to say this. Thumbs up to the marketing company because you did a phenomenal job in the packaging. And just to show you what I mean by that, not only did it come in a green box, which matches the color of their packaging, it came with this green, cool little packaging material. It's got this cool little scratch-on thing that you can then redeem a Spotify $10, I think, which gives you a month of Spotify. It's got a little Turtle Wax key ring, and it's got a little Turtle Wax I don't know what. It's an adhesive, probably maybe an air freshener is my guess. I haven't even opened it up. Point being, they did a phenomenal job. And you know what? I love good marketing. I love good advertising. Most of us hate advertising. That's why we like to skip through on-demand shows where we can skip through the advertising. But if you're like me, you hate advertising unless it's two things. One, it's really, really good. Or secondly, it happens to be advertising something that you're in the market for, and now you want some information so that you can do a little research. So at a base level, we all enjoy good advertising and marketing. Well done, thumbs up. At this point, I will cut the video. If you like what you see, by all means, give it a thumbs up. Secondly, and more importantly, leave me a comment. I want to know your thoughts on anything I discussed today. Swirl marks, paint transfer, scratch removal. I want to know what your experience level is, what you've come across, what your understanding is. Something that can help everyone else that's going to come in after you leave a comment and read your comment so that they can start beginning to learn and figure out how big this audience is. And I don't mean my audience, but it's called the world. And how everyone comes into the picture with a different perspective based on life experiences. So leave me a comment. By all means, give me a thumbs up if you like what you see. And even past that, you can subscribe. There's a little bell icon. If you hit that, after you hit the subscribe button, you will be alerted every time I upload a new video. With that said, we will see you on the next video.